Hello and welcome. We got Superman Red Sun in a gorgeous hardcover edition. I've only got one beef with this whole book, and it is the dust cover, dust jacket, whatever you want to call it. How fragile it was. I've read the book like once. I've owned it for like, I don't know, a week, and it has done nothing but sit on my desk and be read one time, and we've already done that kind of damage to the dust cover. That's kind of wild. I was not expecting it to be so fragile, so I've taken it off the book for now so I don't do any more damage to it during the review. Great cover, huh? Back cover's plain, but the front cover got that embossed hammer and sickle. Looks great. So if you don't know, we'll talk about the story a little bit here. If you don't know, Superman Red Sun is the story of Superman if he landed in the Soviet Union. And this is a good, iconic page to flip to because it kind of distills down the essence of the character in multiple ways. I mean, that is Superman, right? He's saving the day in a big way. He's also saving the day in a small way. That's what Superman does. That's how the character starts. It's with that same kind of I can help people, youthful exuberance, that kind of panache. No, that's not the right word. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So he was in the Soviet Union. There was a disaster. He ends up in Metropolis to save the day, and meets Lois. Lois in this universe ends up marrying Lex Luthor, who was scheming. You can see him over here while he's still got hair to get the space probe out of the ocean. Yeah, it's all a scheme. Luthor and the others, they're all schemers. Anyway, he gets a party, a parade thrown for him in Red Square. So he's up there in the box with Stalin watching the show. There's a disaster. He's got to go save the day. And there's a great line in here that goes something like, he has the attention span of a toddler. He can't even sit through his own parade. And Stalin's like, what do you want him to do? He can hear them screaming. Not a very, that kind of strikes me as not a very Stalin thing to say, but I really like it because in this universe, it makes perfect sense. So that's how he starts. He's got that idealism going for him where he's going to save people, he's going to make people's lives better. But he has encounters over the years that slowly, steadily drive him away from that kind of idea, from that state of being. Like, here's the first Bizarro, or I guess he's not the first Bizarro. Here's Bizarro, made by Luthor from that space probe. Things steadily go wilder and wilder. Eventually, Brainiac shows up, puts one of the cities in the Soviet Union into a bottle. And that is kind of the next level of Luthor's plan. So things go from here. We get Batman showing up. He's a Soviet revolutionary trying to bring down the Superman, and his plan almost works, except that, no one could have expected Wonder Woman do what she does to save the day, because Batman figures out red sunlight. And his little revolutionary cell has been operating without leaving evidence behind, so the KGB can't track them down. Of course, Superman being Superman eventually does. And they have this great fight sequence, and that puts a wedge between Superman and Wonder Woman, who had until now been friends. We haven't really talked about that. There's too much going on in this book for me to encapsulate in a couple of minutes. But as we go forward in time, more and more DC characters show up in some way. So we've got Superman, Luthor, Batman, Wonder Woman. You can see her right there. She's bound up with her own rope because Batman is just that good at what he does. Soviet Batman. Look at Soviet Batman. All right, let's just stop and appreciate Soviet Batman. Doesn't he look awesome? Eventually, other stuff happens. The Green Lanterns show up. Luthor gets a hold of all of his monsters, which are just basically a bunch of Superman villains, all get unleashed, and it all comes to a head at the White House. Let me find the page that I want. Let's see. Oh, there's Superman battling the Green Lantern Corps. Really cool panel. Here we go. Superman tears through the Amazons. You can see the climax. See? I told you a bunch of monsters would show up. Parasite, Doomsday, Atomic Skull, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. And so everything is going bad. There's Brainiac's ship, because Brainiac was defeated by Superman and reprogrammed, come to a head. It's a fantastic, absolutely startling kind of conclusion because ultimately, he is Superman. Beating Superman down is really hard. Defeating Superman with mere strength is really hard. So how do you fight Superman? With your mind, with your brain. Yeah, you gotta outthink him. You gotta have more smarts than him. And that's where this goes. This edition of Red Sun is really nice looking. I got this as a present. I'm very appreciative of it. It's got some great sketches and stuff in the back matter, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. The book itself is gorgeous. The printing is fantastic looking. Every page is a work of art, and the only thing I can knock it for is the dust jacket. That's it. I like Red Sun. It's maybe the third best Superman story. Ninja Weasel, my buddy, he would argue with me. He'd say it's like the number one because it's the only Superman story he likes. But he just hates Superman, so his opinion is invalid. If you haven't read Red Sun, you probably should. I think this is technically out of print, but you can still find this on Amazon. Man, they got copies in stock right now, and you should go for it. It's a great read. Anyway, thank you so much for dropping in. I don't even think I really did a review. I did like a summary and then told you the book was beautiful, and that's it. But that's all I got, man. This book is so good, I can't review it. I can just tell you, the book is good. There's 2 or 3 layers to everything that happens. It all ties up nicely. This is probably one of the best things that Mark Millar ever wrote. And I'm not super familiar with the artists, but the book is absolutely gorgeous. They have this wonderful color palette all through the book, and it just hits right. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great one. Bye-bye.